Hi guys, I'm live. Hopefully some of you guys have come over from the Corey's show. I don't know, he's probably still going on because his show goes 2 or 3 hours. But I was over there, really good show over there tonight. But I want to get this out here. We got some things to say. We want to talk about the two basketball games today. The women who won today, they won 87-65, and the men lost. Um, 90 to 80 in a game that wasn't really that close. Close. It was a close game in the first half for the men. We were only down 2 points at halftime for the men, and honestly, I thought both teams played pretty bad the first half. Both teams were looking to get something going. Both teams were trying, and give Michigan credit in the second half. They figured it out and they went on. I think at one point they had a 21 point lead on Iowa. Um, Iowa's credit in the last few minutes with the starters on the bench were able to knock that down to a 10 point lead deficit, which is why I say now um, that game is definitely wasn't a 10 point game. What's going on with the men, guys? Let's talk about the men. Um, some things that just right now are just kind of bugging me. Really, when you get right down to it, it's they're playing no defense. I mean, the team has really never played any defense. Let's just face the facts that Fran doesn't play defense. Um, but right now, what's been saving this team is that they've been able to play offense. They've been able to hit their threes. Guys, they were 1 for 15 on threes today. That's not Division 1 Power 5 basketball. Okay. Okay. Don't like my beard, South Bend. um. Anyhow, so yeah, they have no offense. They don't look like they could hit the right side of a barn right now. But I want to just preface this by saying, and this is a young team. Okay, we don't have a superstar on it. I think this young team will figure it out. Today they shook up the lineup a little bit. Started Freeman, which I really like Freeman because he doesn't look like a freshman. I mean, he's built like a tank. He's built like he belongs, like a junior, senior. Freeman will figure it out. He made mistakes today too, but he's got to play through those. As does Harding. Um, he's got to play through those. So honestly, guys, I think the future is bright for Iowa basketball. I think we're just going to have to put up with some erratic play, and I don't know what's going on. Peyton Stanford and has been very inconsistent this year. He just doesn't seem to be playing like he should be able to. I'm not sure what's going on there. Um, oh, Iowa was 5 from 20 for the 3 point range. I thought it was um, 1 for 15. Oh, okay. That must have been at the last few minutes of the game, right? Is that what you're saying? Okay. By that time, I had people in and out of my house. So I wasn't watching the full last couple minutes of the game. So okay, so so we're 5 for 20 on the 3 point, which is still not good, guys. That's not good. What is that percentage wise? Anybody know? Okay. All right. So losing my train of thought here. So anyhow, this team will figure it out. Okay. But the problem is we need Peyton Stanford, P Mac, and Perkins to step up and be the seniors that they are. Or I guess Stanford might be a junior. But they need to. They just need to. What do I want to say? They just need to step up and take over. when things are going wrong, we need somebody who can just take in and get out of the way. Cricky seems to be, he doesn't look like a leader out there, but he does seem to be play hard at the 5 spot. He seems to try really hard and get in there and do some things, and he usually gets 20 points. What did he get today? 24. So he's above his average. He was above his average today. So he was in there working, and Perkins ended up with 19 points, which I think a lot of those came late. A lot of those points. I think at one point he was at 12 for a while, and then all of a sudden he went off on them. But PMac and Peyton both got 10 points apiece, and Harding had 6. But really nobody else did anything. Freeman only had 5 points himself. You know, and I just think they were scared when they went to the rim. I think they were really scared of Michigan because it's like they were really tentative, trying to move around the rim, and then they didn't look like they were able to finish a little bit around the rim and stuff. So anyway, and and I think the guards are doing way too much dribbling. Um, I think you got to get down there, make your cuts, make your passes. I was better when they're fast breaking, fast moving. When the ball doesn't hit the floor very often. If the floor, when they're dribbling, if it doesn't hit the floor very often, they take it and they pass it quickly, and then they pass it quickly to somebody else, and just keep that ball moving, and get that ball up and shoot it. This is a team that we know can shoot the ball. They proved it all year, until these last 3 games. These last 3 games, they really, and the previous 2 games are understandable. You can forgive Purdue, you can forgive Iowa State, but losing like they did to Michigan today, unforgivable, unacceptable. It just, yeah, you can't. That can't happen, guys. That just can't happen. Um, no way, no how. And then Fran getting 2 technicals today. What was that all about? I mean, really, Fran. You know, are you that hot headed that you just keep blowing your whistle? All I could think of is you must have said a couple of magic words there after the first technical to get the second technical. Yeah, it's just unbelievable, unbelievable. I guess I should have listened to your post game interview tonight to see what your thoughts were on that and why you were trying to, because anyway, the guys don't look like they're playing in sync right now, and according to Peyton, some of the guys are dealing with off court issues. We don't know what those off court issues are, but maybe they don't look like a cohesive team right now, a bonding team, a team that plays together well, plays for each other. Um, Something's going on there. They don't look like the same teams we're doing. Um, so this begs to differ, guys. Is Fran's time over at Iowa? Do you guys think that we've seen enough of Fran? Um, do we need somebody else to come in? Has Fran taken this program as far as it can go? Leave you guys' comments up here, guys, because I don't have anybody to bounce off of tonight. As you can tell, Jason and Paul aren't here tonight, and I really didn't want to postpone this podcast because I plan another one this week, a bowl one, and we're gonna do some NIL stuff later this week too. I'm gonna come in and we're gonna do some NIL stuff and maybe speculation on the OC and everything. New OC, which is not going to be announced until after January 1st anyway. So okay. So anyway, I don't know. I just guys, I don't know how you guys feel, but I just feel that this is unacceptable. This loss. I mean, granted, I said that we're going to go through, and I said this early on that we're going to go through some erratic things are going to be erratic for us for a while. Okay. Um, we're going to be up, we're going to be down, but it seems like we're down on all these teams. This is a game that if we just wanted to win, we should have beaten this team, so that we can go in and have a 4-game winning streak going into Wisconsin, and then we can say, so, yeah, and so Okay, all right. It's just you and the beard tonight for the entertainment. Not with this year's recruiting class. I think next year's recruiting class. I don't know. Hackwell family. Do you know who's coming in next year for? We got Koch, and I don't know who else is coming, but um, this has got to get figured out with these guys. These guys have got to figure this out. They're young. I believe in these guys. I see talent there. I really do. And maybe it's time to bench the three guys. Stafford, P Mac, and Perkins. If they're not going to lead this team, and put the youngsters out there and see what happens the rest of the year, and get ready for next year because and Friend's not going to do that. He's going to try to win all of his games, obviously, but if we can't beat a Michigan team that's lousy, mediocre, and bad, um, that's having their own issues, and we let them. Mm. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you for the clarification on that, Mr. Hackwell. Um, so if we can't if we can't figure that out, um, then what's the point? I mean, this team needs a lot of help right now. This team needs to go through some growing pains. But like I said, we cannot afford to lose to Michigan. Right now, I have them with a 14-17 record. But I also had them winning this game as one of my 14. So does that mean they're 13-18? Not necessarily. But they're going to have to win some games they're not necessarily supposed to. Wisconsin would be a good place to do that. After we have our next 3-game winning streak against the Sisters of the Poor in the next 3 games, then let's go to Wisconsin. And Wisconsin's a pretty solid team, even though they got beat pretty easily by Arizona. They did beat Michigan State, and so um, here's the thing we need to do. We need to beat Wisconsin. We need to get one of those wins that I didn't plan on. I didn't plan on a Wisconsin win, but now we need it. Okay. And so that's where I'm at with that one, guys. All right. Talk about the women. The women. There's one thing about the women today. Um, the criticism that I saw over on Corey Prada's page and by Corey himself. He was upset that Clark was in with 2 minutes to go, left 23 points up. And then the announcers are talking about an injury, possible injury, and all of a sudden she slips and falls and slams her knee to the floor, and then she pounds the floor. And a picture that I took off of the TV screen shows Gabby Marshall biting her nails and what looked like Caitlin crying with a towel over her eyes. Well, that so you can slam your knee on the ground. That hurts. You know that hurts. So yeah, she's gonna cry, but she says she's okay. I saw her after a game interview, and she says she's okay. She'll be fine. Says she should be wearing knee pads, but she refuses to wear them. Okay. Does Nate Stanley have any eligibility left to be big man for Fran? Maybe Nate can finally get a W against Wisconsin. Oh wow, that's funny. That's funny. I doubt that he has any eligibility since he's playing in the NFL or was. Um, yeah, kind of hard to come back from the NFL and then go back to college and play sports. Okay. All right. So amazingly, as many 3-point shots as Caitlin missed today, the team as a whole still shot 41% from 3-point line. Isn't that amazing? I found that super amazing. Okay. They got 40 rebounds compared to Wisconsin's 36. 21 assists compared to 13 assists for Wisconsin. They both had 11 steals. Iowa turned the ball over 15 times, but Caitlin does turn it over. And I remember that was a knock on her freshman year to sophomore year. The one thing she really wanted to work on, or maybe it was from sophomore to junior year, in an interview, she said that she wanted to work on the turnovers because she knew that she was a turnover machine and she needed to work on that. And so I don't remember. I should have gone back and looked to see how many turnovers Caitlin had out of those 15. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Oops. Whoops. There it is. Okay. Yeah. The stat page I'm looking at does not give the individual turnovers. Um, it's very minimal, but I got it from Google. So, um, but anyway, I mean, guys, what are your thoughts about Caitlyn? Should she have gone back in the game with 2 minutes to go and take a chance? Okay, and take a chance on injuring herself, which she actually fell, so there's a chance. Okay, all right. So anyway, Caitlyn had 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. Goodman had 4. Martin had 6. Marshall had 3. Molly Davis had 2 free throws. Stokey had 21 points. Do you guys know how many points Stokey could have had today if she had just focused on her free throws? And she missed a lot of bunny layups, a lot of easy layups, and I think it's because I think she was trying to draw the girl that has in foul trouble to get more fouls from her, to create a foul from her. So I don't think she was really trying to score the bucket, but I think she should have. Um, okay. Okay, and this is quite interesting. Because she did say she should be wearing them, and she's not. Okay. And so, but Stokey, I think she needs to work on her free throws and maybe focus on going to the rim because I think she could have outscored Caitlin easily today. Oh, Fulter, 7 points, Feuerbach 8, McCabe 6, and O'Grady 2. So our Goodman and O'Grady, who were supposed to be our replacement centers for Cezanne this year, are not. I don't know. They don't look like they're getting the job done, but it also looks like that Caitlin's not getting in the ball like she did Cezanne. I mean, that's always used to be last year. If you guys remember, that was always the first person she looked for. Okay. And thankfully Martin doesn't look that injured. You guys remember she fell and had and kind of limped off to the sideline, and it looked like she was really injured, but she was running the floor normal when she was out there. So anyway, the women win 87-65 today in a doubleheader, and Saturday will be another doubleheader. I don't know if they're both on the same channel, but as we know, they'll be in Des Moines at the arena. Play. I think the women play first and then the men, or vice versa. I don't remember which. Um, and I don't even know what time those games are. Let me look. Let me look real quick, guys. Let's get the time of those games for you. Alrighty. 3:30 in the afternoon for the men. 3:30 Central Time, by the way, or is that maybe that's my time? 6 p.m. for the women. So the men actually are the lead. Usually, it used to be the women would always lead in for the men, but looks like it's the other way around this time. So the women are at 6 p.m. Um, honestly, I hope those are Central Standard Times. Then I could watch the game. Otherwise, I'm going to be at a Christmas party and I won't be able to watch. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I listened a little bit today about the Brad Heinrichs, the Swarm CEO, and he's on Corey's show a couple days ago, and but it's a almost 3 hour interview, so I'm only about 20 minutes into it, but I'm already learning some good things. So the coaches have told him that the quarterback position, it will be an open competition come spring. that Marco has just as much of a chance of beating out Hill and Cade as the others do each other. But we all know that Kirk is a loyalist. And so does this mean that Deacon's automatically number one quarterback going into the spring? We know Cade's not going to be ready for practice yet. Okay, so he won't be practicing unless he's just out there tossing balls for a while. You know, so this really comes down to Markle and Hill taking all the reps in spring. I gotta believe that Markle's. I just can't believe if we go into the name come out of spring with Deacon still number one. That's just gonna blow my mind. Okay. But anyway, he's talked to the coaches and he's told them it's a 100% open quarterback competition. But that's kind of like coach speak, right? You know. Um, by the way, the Heinrich did say that he's getting calls from players' agents, both our players and other agents from other people, agents for other coaches. I'm saying asking about our players, how much NIL money they're going to get next year because they want to poach them. And he said absolutely when he didn't use Vines by name, but he said absolutely Vines was already poached before he even entered the portal to go to Pittsburgh. So it sounds like that's where he knew that he wants to go to Pittsburgh. I don't. He hasn't actually said he's going to Pittsburgh yet, but we all know he got an offer because it was the same day or the day after he announced his transfer portal that he already had an offer from Pittsburgh. Okay, and so what's happening is head coaches from other schools, and he said head coaches are calling him and asking him about the players that Iowa has and trying to poach them for get them more NIL money. They want to find out what Iowa's willing to pay them next year so that they can beat Iowa out for these guys and stuff. So that's quite an eye opener on that one. Um, but at the same time, agents are agents of current players are also saying that they are wanting to know what we can do for some of the Iowa current players who still have decisions to make, um, and whether or not they should leave and go in the portal or not, or should they approach other schools. It seems to be a game that's not really legal. They can't really poach these guys, but they are. He said it's out there, it's open, and he knows it's open out there that people are doing it. Um, and so I found that highly interesting. That's early on in the interview. I'm going to get more out of the interview, and we're going to talk about that because I want to talk about some of that stuff, guys, this week. And so once I get the whole interview listened to, I just got to sit down and listen. It's a long interview. And so, but he's really high on Marco. He's like a fan like the rest of us. He doesn't have any inside information, but he thinks they should at least put together a package for Marco in the bowl game. Show so that Marco can show what he's learned, where he's at, so kind of get a bearing for spring practice to kind of because um he talked to Marco's dad. I mean, Marco's not going anywhere yet anyway. But he talked to Marco's dad this week, and it sounds like Marco's going to stay put. He's not having any intention of leaving as of now. But you gotta preface that because everybody remembers Justin Jacobs didn't have any plans to leave Iowa last year either, and had a great NIL deal in place for this year if he stayed. And we all know what happened there. So you never know what these guys are thinking and what they're doing. And so, but I just find it interesting. Is I'm going to listen to the rest of this interview, guys, and get some inside information. He did talk about the OC. They are approaching guys who are not currently part of the. They've got invitations out there to interview, and I think they've done some interviews to guys who are not currently part of the program. But he said the big thing is they've got to come up with the money. They've got to come up with the money for the OC, And not only do they have to come up with the money for the OC to bring him here, um, Phil and Seth will have to have raises too because they're coordinators too, and they're going to have raises that will have to where they make more money than the OC because the OC will be new to the staff. So he was throwing out 1.5 million to 2 million to bring in an OC. Well, that means Phil's only at 1.4 million. You're going to have to at least give him $2 million. You can't just leave Phil out there and slap him in the face, especially for the good job that he's done with the team, the defense the last few years, winning the Broyles Award. You can't. And Seth Wallace, what he's done with the special teams, you need to give him some good money too. I'm guessing he doesn't even make a million. But you got to give him a raise too. You just can't leave him out there because he's done a fantastic job with the special teams, and so you know those two phases of our game got us to 10 wins, guys. Not the offense. The third phase, our offense let us down, and so that's where I'm at with that. Guys, I don't have a lot. I was hoping you guys would leave more comments so we could go over your comments and questions, and so I don't have a whole lot more to talk about. So it is a rather short podcast. Sorry, I apologize for that. You guys are used to an hour, and we're used to having 7, 8, 9 guys in here commenting all the time. But it is what it is, and so I'm just going to ask you to, if you're watching this, to please like it. Please subscribe, then like it. Subscribe, like it, and then share it with your friends. Let's get us out there with the other talking Hawkeye heads. Let's show what's going on, guys. There's a guy out there that doesn't have as many subscribers as this podcast does, but he's getting more views. Guys, let's change that. Let's change that. Complimentary football, KF's biggest hoax. Yeah. 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 I'll South Bend. I got some family things going on as soon as I get off of this thing, but I'll call you tomorrow if you got time. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm just sounding stupid staying here, but subscribe, like, and share, guys, and let's just get this podcast out there to everybody. Let's show everybody that we're talking heads. Yes, we're fans. We're fans. That's all. That's all we are. We're not claiming to be reporters, professional journalists. We're not claiming to be analysts or anything like that. We're just fans sitting here like you guys would, sitting there, at the game, at the tailgates, discussing the game, at a bar, discussing the game, at a restaurant, discussing the games. That's all we are. That's all I want to be. That's all it was ever intended to be. And so that's what I want. I just want just a bunch of fans getting together. And so, all right. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you guys later. I planned two podcasts for this week. Okay, one's going to be the bowl special, which we'll probably do around Thursday or Wednesday. All right. We're going to do the bowl special because the bowl games are going to start up here really quick, and so I want to get out there and talk about the bowls and the playoffs and stuff like that. All right, time to get out. Take care, guys. Thank you for watching.